devotion. We saw devotion last week, and basically translates to love for God. But it's also our source, right? Like if you think about where we came from, physically, we have come from the 5 elements. So it's love for that origin of lineage, not really lineage in this case, but and then even as mind, source is mind can't function without the very consciousness that is reflected in it. And so we give it so little attention, that source from where we come from, or the fiber of our being. We just get lost in, we don't even get lost in being, we get lost in doing. And I think I've mentioned this before. There's a really nice quote that we are not human doings, we are human beings. But we don't think about being, and we don't focus on being. We really focus on doing. And then worse, we really focus on getting. We are human gettings. Snatching, possessing, looting. But what, if you think about source, it's essentially who we are is being, consciousness. And so devotion is connection to source. And you'll see it in every single tradition. Even in very popular movies of like this Avatar, where they have that tree and that's the source of all life. And because it's something very inborn in us to want to go back to source, beginning. And so we can think about devotion as God, but if we understand that it's connection to source, then it becomes immediately more personal and essentially more intimate. And otherwise, God can be a lot of people's relationship with God is very formal. Like we treat acquaintances. Hello, how are you? and why do I say it like that? Because I'll see it in the way that people bow down. Yeah, it's because it's not a real being. It's like a formality. It's a ritual. There's an awkwardness, literally like when we meet a stranger, right? And so many times people will walk through this door and they'll be like, "Hi, Swamini ji." And then I'll say, "You want to say hello to Krishna?" And they'll be like, "Oh." And then you're like, literally like, "Oh, don't bow." And yes, the ritual might be unfamiliar, and that's why there's awkwardness, but it's also the relationship, right? Like the warmth with which they greeted me is because I'm a person that they know, and if they're saying hi, it's not ashram people, they people that are on the periphery, because ashram people will say, "Hari Om Swaminiji." But it's comfort, it's real, and then God's not comfort, because it doesn't feel real. Must be real. I don't doubt it's real, but I'm not feeling it. And so when we say devotion is my source, then already it's a little bit more, it comes closer. And what am I bowing down to? The very beginning of my creation, in whichever way. Whether I think about it in terms of my grandparents and their grandparents and their grandparents and their grandparents, or I think about it in terms of space, body, fire, water, earth that goes to make up the ingredients, or I think about it as life itself. And probably the nicest, easiest way to think about it is life itself, because I'm alive. And so that aliveness is what I am worshipping. And then it's so much a part of me. I'm not worshipping me. I'm worshipping aliveness, which is so much bigger than me. But I am. alive. And so it's very much also me. And so basically, essentially, devotion doesn't work until it's personal. Because love can't work until it's personal. I have to be invested, and then I love. And like somebody who's not interested in children, there's so many millions of children on the planet, and then they have a kid. And now there's love. Why? Because personal, mine. Or, first house you buy, and then you love it. Not even that it's the best house, just because it's mine and it's first. And or car. And I remember uni, everybody so excited about their first car. And it's usually secondhand. In fact, my first car was a third hand. It wasn't even secondhand. But just so much love for it. Why? Mine. In order to love, there has to be the feeling of me or mine. Some kind of connection. And so devotion becomes our inspiration to live all the qualities given to us in the scriptures and the instructions given to us in the scriptures. And in a way, you can say it's a foundation quality, but not necessarily, because we can have a quality like discipline, which was given earlier, without having devotion. Ravana did. Hiranyakashipu did. Today you look around and lots of people have very strong minds, but no devotion. So can you have virtues without devotion? Yes. But devotion definitely sweetens those. Like you can have courage without devotion also. But the devotion then sets us in a direction. Because when there's devotion, we just automatically link it to come full circle back to something that is divine. Like even though we might do many things for ourselves, we will also do for the divine, and our mind and our heart will come back to divine because of connection. So rather than a cornerstone of all virtues, it is a inspiration to live the virtues, which makes all the difference, right? Because we've seen so far, strong mind, very important we have a strong mind. But on the spiritual path, it's important to have pure mind. To be worldly successful, you don't have to have pure mind. I mean, you can look around. It's people are very profit-driven and can be very successful. But there's always side effects, either for ourselves or the world around us. And so things like profit-driven, and then I build a factory to be able to produce the goods, but side effect, pollution. But if I'm inspired by devotion and I'm thinking, oh, the pollution is going to harm other people, everybody is the form of divinity, life should be respected, okay, I'll make 2% less profit and I'll build in this da-da-da, so that there's recycling. Or there's less pollution, or there's less. And so the perspective changes. So everything becomes sweetened with devotion. And actually, it's not here, but we just did it in chapter 13. The quality that's actually fundamental for every other quality to be lived is humility. We saw that yesterday, so I don't need to elaborate on it. Okay, Isha Bhajana Sarati Sajjana. The chariot here is devotion. And so it's direction. Devotion is giving us direction. Pirati Charma Santusha Kripana. So Vairagya. Pirati is Vairagya. Is that correct? Yes. Is our shield. So this is the chariot of success, and they're going into the battle. If you remember the context, Ramchandraji is about to fight Ravana, and Ravana has come in with this very fancy chariot, wearing full armor. Ramchandraji's got his bark clothes and his bow and arrow. That's it. And so he doesn't have this full armor. And so he's saying, my chariot is all these qualities. And now he's saying, Vairagya is my shield. So not the kavacha. The kavacha later we'll see is Guru Kripa, the shield with which we would block. And the sword is contentment. So this is, like knights with their shield and their swords. So let's see shield first. Vairagya is our shield. How do you think Vairagya is our shield? Everyone remembers what Vairagya is? Dispassion or detachment. Either way, it gets translated either way. And that's translation, but what is it really? So the technical definition of Vairagya as per Tattva Bodh is when we outgrow our fascination with things in the world. For example, there was this phase when Candy Crush was first released, and then I went to, I won't name the city, and I was living with someone, and that person used to play something like 45 minutes of Candy Crush every day. So I used to sit there and, watch and then participate, and then I played a few rounds. And then I went to visit my mom and dad, and mom was playing Candy Crush. And then before you knew it, I was playing 20 minutes, 30 minutes Candy Crush every day, very bad. And of course, it's crazy addictive. And then you up a level, and then you up a level, and then you up a level. And I think already I was in level 50 something when I realized this is ridiculous. I'm way too invested in Candy Crush. and this is not good for brain cells and not good for time management and not good for too many things. And then I think I decided when I get to level 100, I will never play again. I got to level 100 and I've never played again. Now, even when I see other people playing it in the MTR, I think, like, what was I thinking? You outgrow it. It no longer pulls you to it. We've all outgrown certain things. Movies, Netflix, clubbing. Actually, in Hong Kong, they don't outgrow things. What am I saying? You'll see the 20-year-old in Lang Kwai Fong. You'll see the 60-year-old also in Lang Kwai Fong. No other country that's true. You won't see 60-year-old in nightclubs in other countries. Definitely see it in Hong Kong. What am I saying? Vairagya, you outgrow it. An example given in the scriptures is that you and I won't play with toys. Actually, even that example doesn't apply anymore because what you said, that doll, we didn't outgrow only. You're supposed to outgrow. You don't need a toy. It's a toy, right? This labubu, like, what nonsense that you're still so attached to it. so attached. It's a toy. Scriptures say, like children outgrow toys. It's Kali Yuga. We haven't outgrown toys. But hopefully we've outgrown most things of our childhood. Like, actually, it's interesting, that sometimes we don't outgrow it. Like, I was going to give another example, like if you're playing a game and if you lose as a kid, you feel so bad. But if you lose as an adult, you know it's just a game. But if you don't, that's no Vairagya. And when you do, it's Vairagya. Yeah. Hopefully, I'm expressing what's Vairagya and not just complaining about us not having it. So we meant to outgrow pretty much everything. So our toys, right? Then we meant to outgrow wanting to be right. So outgrowing our toys is essentially outgrowing getting what we want, right? I desire it, I get it. So as kids, you want toys. Then you outgrow that because you no longer want toys. We just graduate in wanting something else. But the idea of Vairagya and the idea of that example is you outgrow being insistent on getting what you want. Then we should outgrow our need to be right or to, for other people to acknowledge us. And that's a bigger thing to outgrow. Outgrow wanting attention, wanting validation, wanting reassurance. Wow. In fact, we are now conditioned as a society to want it more. What? Validation, attention, um, reassurance. But we meant to outgrow all of that so that we stand independent, strong. Yeah. Because the more we need all those things, we depend it. And so the nicest way I have understood Vairagya so that I really aspire towards it is being emotionally and intellectually independent. So raga is dependency on. And so we dependent on getting what we want. We dependent on attention, praise, affection, reassurance, comfort. We get dependent on all these things. Never mind dependent on coffee and tea and our phones. I mean, wow, we're so dependent on those things. But this is dependent on all these emotional aspects of our lives. And so, of course, Vairagya is to be independent from physical objects, such as phone and tea and coffee and whatever else we are in, whatever else we get dependent on. Sometimes people get so dependent on their bed, their pillow, their chair, their being in hot weather, cold weather. We can get dependent on so many physical things. So Vairagya is first and foremost being independent from any kind of object as a source of happiness and comfort. So my independence from objects to give me comfort and happiness. And then Vairagya is being independent from all emotional dependencies that give me comfort and happiness. Comfort is different to happiness. Yeah. Comfort is lack of sorrow. Happiness is proactive. Yeah. So, what an amazing quality. Because the more Vairagya I have, the more independent I am. then I'm so strong. Like, what makes us weak? All our dependencies make us weak. And not only do our dependencies make us weak, they steal our freedom. God, I'm not free now. I need to have that pillow only. Only then I can sleep well. And then you hear stories in Bhajagovindam of Ratnacharpita Virajatati. He slept on the temple floor, in the forest, this Parama Vairagi, under the stars. Sleep where you need to sleep, sleep. We never outside. You want me to sleep outside? Horrified, horrified, horrified. But we don't even need to be sleeping outside to be horrified. You know, say that in a three-star hotel, you expect me to sleep? Like, or you want me to share a room with 8 other people? Like, oh, we'll start getting palpitations. Why? Freedom gone. Our freedom isn't there. What is Vairagya? I have full freedom, zero dependency. Now think of how objects have enslaved us, and that's why that quote of Gurudev, right? Comforts come as a guest, they linger to become the host, and then over a period of time, they enslave us. Yeah. The comfort is not making our lives comfortable. The comforts are making us weak. The comfort becomes the master. We become servant to the comfort. It's horrifying if we really think about it, no? Here we are, infinite Brahman, but I can't function without my cup of chai. Or I can't sleep without my pillow. Or I can't share bathroom. Or I can't, like, infinite Brahman. And then what does our mind get stuck on? Aish. You know, it reminds me in Vedanta, when you start studying, it will explain that Brahman is all pervading everywhere, here, now, here. And then why can't I see it if it's so big, like I should be able to see it? And then the explanation is given is that if you put your thumb in front of your eye, blocks the whole world. The eye that's open. I, I know I did the wrong one. So it blocks everything. Yeah? Like there's this whole big, beautiful view right now. Not so big and beautiful view, but like think if you sitting somewhere on a beach and there's this huge, humongous, beautiful view of sky and sea and clouds, and then you block it. With what? One small little thumb. And so here's big, beautiful, amazing Brahman, infinite happiness, bliss, untaintable, undilutable. And what do? Mighty. My pillow, my bathroom. These are objects. Wait for me to bring next round. My kid, my spouse, my parent, my friend, my... No, they're bigger than my thumb. Same size compared to Brahman. Then small only. But it doesn't matter how small it is. If it's this close, it blocks everything else. What's Vairagya? I outgrow needing it to be this close. Mm. I am free. I am independent. Now, when we think Vairagya is detachment, we don't want it. Please don't tell me to detach. You are a Swamini, you go detach. We are Grahasthas, we will stay attached. But if I say independence, you want to be independent. You want to be free. And yet it's the same word, huh? Vairagya. Mm. There's this story that Gurudev used to say. There was a man drowning in the river. Like yesterday, typhoon, river in high flood. He was standing too close. He fell in. He was getting swept away. And so some guy came and tried to help him and said, "Give me your hand." And the guy in the river, when he heard give, he pulled his hand back. And this guy on the shore thought, wait, then he realized what he's saying. He said, "Take my hand." And the other guy took it. Because if I have to give, no, I'm not giving you anything. And give up, even worse. No way. But take, yeah, I'll take. Even there, huh? It's such like in drowning in a river, I'll just give my hand. No. But you're saying no? Because that's what we are. We're drowning in our own moha, maya. We're drowning in our own miseries and preoccupations. And when we say, and then, Guru says, give it up. Give up? No. Take, take my blessings. Okay, I'll take. I bless you to be detached. It's true. Interesting how we perceive it. It's the very same thing, right? Give me your hand, take my hand. It's exactly the same thing. Yeah. In Vairagya, we're not losing anything. We're gaining so much more, so much more. There's those other cute stories that used to get circulated. Now with Instagram, not much gets circulated. Only what's on your feed is what on your feed. Remember emails that we forwarded? Some of them are too young to have been there when we did that. So a young girl was bugging her parents about buying this necklace. Young girl, she wanted to wear something pretty. In fact, one of our Balvihar kids will wear her tiara every single class. Just fascination, right? We get fascinated with different things. Small kid allowed. During childhood, fascination is allowed. So it was a bit more expensive. So the father bought her one of those ones that you buy for the dolls. So she was wearing that necklace, that plasticky one, that you get at the toy store. And she wanted the other one, but then her birthday was coming up. And so father, most parents, soft, will get it for her. So they got her the real one, the real necklace. And so they packed it and they kept it. And then that night, after reading the story to her, they said, "Will you give me your necklace?" And she said, "No." And so he had planned. He'd take the old one and then he'd say, "Since you gave it, ta-da, I give you this." And then she immediately like, "No, I'm not giving you my necklace." And he said, "Please give it to me. I really wanted it. You had it now for so long. Give it to me." "No." Then she started crying, and then he had to pacify her. And then so much tears later, she went to sleep crying. And the whole time, he had the real necklace right there next to him, which he was going to present her. But she wasn't willing to let go of this plastic one, and she cried so much that it was getting taken from her, went to sleep crying. So often in life, when we have let go of something, something better comes. But we're so scared to let go of it. Vairagya, let it go. Don't hold on. That's what Vairagya is. Vairagya has this aspect of, one, independence and being able to enjoy our freedom, and two, this faith. When I need something, anyway, it comes. Oh. So if I let this go, it will come. I've given this example many times, even, like even physical things sometimes, like you need duct tape, or you need, we had to all our windows. Then of course it sells out in the shops, because now suddenly everybody is buying it to duct tape their windows. So by the time it sells out, then you're thinking, oh, I don't have any. And then the neighbor comes over and rings the doorbell. By any chance, do you need some? Because, we bought so many. It came, right? I'm sure you've experienced this. Maybe not with duct tape and the windows, but with something else. When we need it, it comes. Unnecessarily, we try to hold on, and then we forget we have it, or we do have too much of it, and then Vairagya. Mhm. Absence of raga, desire. But technically, absence of attraction. Now, the reason I didn't say absence of attraction is because we'll get attracted, but we don't have to possess it. But usually we get attracted and we want. But we can get attracted and think, so nice, and just move on and not have, I want. Like when we look at the moon, so nice. We don't have to, I want. Yeah. If we can do the same with fashion, with praise, with wealth, with whatever. So nice. It is nice. So many things in this world are nice, but we don't have to have it all. So, what is Vairagya? The shield. What do we use shield for? To block. Before it strikes us and injures us, we block with the shield. What's Vairagya? This dispassion. So we're not attacked by desires. Because desires, wow, they really attack. That creates that incredible dependency in us, right? So the stages of being able to develop vairagya is, the first is, if I do have a very strong attraction to something and I'm trying to be strong and not giving to the desire, then to physically distance myself from that object. So something like, there is somebody I know who deletes Instagram, YouTube, Facebook from their phone, deletes it. And then when they go on vacation, then they reinstall it. And then when the vacation's over, delete. So now if I've deleted Instagram off my phone, I haven't, I still have it, but I'm not so addicted to Instagram. Addicted to other things, but not Instagram. Then so much headache to reinstall it, to open it. Then okay. And then it reminds me, I don't want to do it. I don't want to waste time on Instagram. So you create physical distance, or a way that it reduces the attraction. So also one time I had given that homework where we set our phones on grayscale. It's interesting how hard it is to find grayscale on the phone, huh? They have made it so complicated for you to put your phone on grayscale. It's like 8 steps you have to do before you can do it. How to put volume, how to do it, how to take off grayscale, 1 click. They really make the phone for you to be addicted, and they really discourage you from detaching it from it. So go through all 8 steps and put your phone on grayscale till the weekend's over. So today's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, put your phone on grayscale. What will happen? Watch and see. Very interesting. First step of Vairagya, take away temptation. Many people, when they're dieting, they just won't have that food in the house. It's very sad to visit such houses. Joking, joking, joking. Someone was telling me the other day they wanted sugar for their tea, and in the house that they were visiting, the person didn't have sugar. They don't keep sugar in that house. And you can't have it, right? If it's not in the house. But it has to grow stronger. It has to get to the point where it's there and I won't have it. It can't stay at the point where it has to be far away. We have to start there, but we have to build up to the point where it can be right in front of me and it won't tempt me. Or even if I get tempted, I won't give into that temptation. When it actually becomes Vairagya, it won't bother me. I won't even actually notice it. There's a verse in the Bhagavad Gita where it talks about withdrawing the senses like a turtle. So the turtle has the head and the 4 limbs and then the tail, and then any sign of danger, everything goes ding. Actually, very cool when they do that. Like everything else it does is so slow. But this is so fast. And literally, then it's just one shell sitting there. And then when it thinks the danger's over, very slowly it all comes back out. And so this verse in the Gita is used to describe how we should. So we also have eyes, ears, nose, tongue, touch, mind. 6. We should be able to withdraw it from the world. So the world can still be there. But Vairagya is we withdraw all our fascination, attraction to it. And then we can come out. And then the next verse, this is in Sthita Prajna Lakshana, it says, once you master doing it, the objects no longer come to you. So we'll just stop coming. So you love chocolate, you love chocolate, you love chocolate, you love chocolate. Then when you're trying to control, it will still keep coming. And then you'll be like, no, take it away. But once you've really gotten Vairagya for it, it won't come only. Isn't that interesting? What comes to us? Our likes and dislikes. Please note, dislikes will also come to us. But Vairagya is, I don't dislike it, I don't like it, I'm just independent from it. It won't come. It just won't come. And you're thinking, how does that work? In Mandukya Upanishad, we have just seen, our mind only creates the world. And if I'm thinking about something because I like it, it will be in my world. If I don't like something, it's very much in my world. But if I'm not thinking about it, it just won't be there in my world. Like that toy, La Bobo. It just doesn't exist in my world. I have to ask you all 3 times what the name is before I remember it. Recently, somebody told me the whole story about it. Doesn't exist. Oh, now it exists because I know the story and I can recognize it. There's so many other things. Chanel handbags don't exist in my world. I mean, they exist because they come with other people to the ashram. But in my thinking, doesn't exist. Or hair gel doesn't exist in my world. But so many people so preoccupied with not just hair gel, so many hair products. If I like it or if I dislike it, it features in my thinking and then it will get attracted into my sphere of being. If I'm not thinking about it, it just won't come. What's Vairagya? Just won't come. Yeah. You can test, but then you have to have Vairagya. So great, please test it. So it's true for all the things I like, but it's also true for all the things I don't like. Yeah. Not liking equals liking. How? Because I like not to have it. And so it's not Vairagya. It's very much desire. And then that's also taken away our independence. So shield, our shield. Now think about how much energy gets saved when we have Vairagya versus how much energy we spend in avoiding all the things we don't like and running after all the things we like. Even something as super simple as maybe you come out of a meeting or something and you look at your phone and there's 7 messages. And one is your dear beloved, and you call them and they didn't answer, and you call them and then they didn't answer. And then when you were busy in the meeting, that time only they called. So what do? Straight away you call them back. But the other 6 messages you haven't looked at, huh? Because this is dearly beloved. They don't pick up. Of course they don't pick up. The person you want to pick up won't pick up. Then you call again straight away. Maybe they didn't hear it. They don't pick up. Okay, you go to the other messages. Then at least, how many messages there were? Then at least 2 of them you don't want to deal with. So you'll deal with the other few, then those 2 you look at like this, you put it down again. You pick up to call your beloved again because you know they haven't picked up yet, and then they still not answering. And then those 2 messages, put it back down again. Look how much energy. I have called 3 times. This person who won't pick up looked at those 2 messages already 3 times and not responded because I don't want to deal with it. So much in Vairagya, messages come, respond, 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 done. Didn't pick up, didn't pick up. Next. Answer, 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 done. Life is so easy. But that's not what we want. No, no, no. We will invest so much energy and so much effort in ignoring those 2, chasing that 1. And if they did pick up, if it's your kid, then you're forcing them to talk to you because they don't want to talk to you. If it's another adult, then you talk for 45 minutes when you had so many other things to get done in that 45 minutes. Time management goes off. Energy, so much energy. But I can explain it in another way of how much energy gets drained. In uni kids, they won't want to wash the dishes or do their laundry. Very interesting, huh? How so most of them, 70% of university kids just don't want to do the dishes or their laundry. Maybe they see it as too much of a chore or too beneath them or don't. So the dishes are there, the laundry is there, but they will do everything else until they have no more clothes to wear. Like literally, sometimes they're in the laundromat in their undie and their pajamas doing the laundry. And now so much laundry they have to get done. Or they so don't want to do the laundry that all the laundry is there. They'll go out and buy something new to wear because they don't have anything to wear. How much energy, man, to avoid that laundry for so long, and then so much energy to get through so much laundry in one go, or so much energy to go out and buy something, or now you order online. But it won't come in time if you need it that day, because usually they need it that day. Versus just every 3 days do your laundry. Or just every day do your dishes. You should see their sinks. And things have started growing in there. You're shaking your heads, but I have seen it. And now it's even more horrifying to have to deal with it. We do this for physical things. We do this for emotional things. We keep running away from things we don't like, running to things we do like, and then depleting all our energy in just doing this, running after the things we want, running away from the things we don't want, and then no energy to meditate, no energy for seva, no energy to smell roses, appreciate poetry. Even if you do go to smell roses, you're thinking, but I didn't get that thing I wanted. And that person came with me why they came with me. And we're not able to enjoy it properly. Or we sit down to meditate or to pray and we sit there and we cry that we didn't get all the things we wanted to get. I'm not saying we should never cry. What I'm saying is it consumes us so that we forget that there's so much more. There's so much more. For us to be able to do, for us to be able to think. So, Vairagya is this wonderful quality of seeing things not colored by likes and dislikes, seeing it objectively. Yeah. And this is our shield. In today's world, we really do get attacked by social media and marketing. I've said this many times already. I mean, they sit there in their cubicles, in their offices, thinking whole day how to make you buy something. So much effort and energy goes into making us buy different things. So it's strategic planning. And what's our shield? Vairagya can be the only shield to this constant bombardment of you need. How many things we need? New shelf in your kitchen, a new dress to wear to party, and new cushions for your sofa, and new cleaning detergents, and new so many things. Just constant. And now you got Taobao, and now you got Amazon, and now you got shield. We need a shield so that we don't go down that rabbit hole. And that shield is Vairagya. I'll end a little early on this really nice story. It's one of my favorite stories. In fact, I haven't told it for a long time. I didn't even read it. I remembered it because I like the story so much. It's a story about Socrates. Do you know who's Socrates? I like Socrates. Socrates was a great philosopher, very, very wise man. He used to say that only somebody who knows that they don't know anything is wise. He used to go to the market every single morning. And then, when you create a routine, then you get to know people. So then people will say hello to you and greet you. And so he's going to the market. And so people saw him day after day and they were saying, hello, hi, Hariam, good morning. And then somebody said to him, I've seen you come every day for the last week, but you never buy anything. Like, why do you come to the market? And Socrates answers, I come and I have a look at how many things I can be happy without. My life is perfectly fine not having any of these things. And we do exactly the opposite. Vairagya is when you look at something and you think, I can be perfectly happy without that. Both for objects and remember also for emotions. We see somebody else getting praised and we think, I won't be praised. Yeah. So many people in all these rom-coms, they'll see other people who are couple holding hands, this one's kissing, and then you think, I want couple. You're just fine without it. No, I want. Then next stage of life, you'll see everyone with a kid. I want kid. Interesting how we only see that, huh? Only in rom-com they'll show couple. Like in Mission Impossible, they'll never show couple. Why? Because we like, dislike, like, dislike. we so. What's Vairagya? We. We see what's there. Not because I like it, not because I dislike it, because it's there. And it's beautiful in its own right. I love this quality, Vairagya, as y'all can tell. It gives so much more peace. And then appreciation. When I first moved to Hong Kong, the person who used to buy the flowers used to like only 2 flowers. So every week they bought only those 2 flowers. So when I started buying flowers, I refused to buy those 2 flowers. So I used to go with somebody. You'll all know her. Till today, she won't buy those 2 flowers. I'm like, I'm over it. Those flowers are beautiful. We can buy those flowers. Carnations are really nice. No, we're not buying carnations. We can, so unnecessary, right? Like it's a perfectly beautiful flower. But because there was a story of that was the only one I had. And so now I didn't want it. And so now don't show me that. And then now you're not seeing it as beautiful. You're seeing the story in your head. What's Vairagya? No story. What's there? It's beautiful. In whatever way it's beautiful. And not everything will be beautiful in the same way. Any questions? What was homework? Very good. Let's Google how to do it. I did it once before, but it's been long actually since I did it. I should do it again. We'll all put our phones on grayscales now itself. Settings and then accessibility, then display.
Color filters.
Turn off color filters. Done. Mine is done.
Color filters?
Yes, it's under color filters. Color filters, and then your phone will look like this. See? See? Your phone will look like this. Now, till Monday, you don't put color back up. Ah. Any other questions except how to put your phone on grayscale? Go to accessibility, go to display, go to color filter. Good. Notice how we want entertainment. Tell me, what's your question?
So you mentioned one of the ways to, the first step to try and.
Vairagya is to create distance.
Well, what if it's not a physical thing? What if it's a thought pattern?
Yeah.
How do we create distance if it's in our head?
No, if it's a thought pattern, then the first step is not to create distance, because of course it's our head. Cannot create distance. Okay, so if it's a thought pattern, then the first step to Vairagya is to understand what am I gaining from this thought pattern. It makes me feel self-pity. What am I gaining from feeling self-pity? It makes me feel sad. What am I gaining from feeling sad? You might ask, how can I gain anything from feeling self-pity and sad? We are, because we don't do anything we don't gain from. It won't be a logical gain. Like if I feel sorry for myself, people will ask me what happened, and then I will get attention. So what am I gaining? Attention. But am I actually gaining it? No, I'm just hoping to gain it. but you're not gaining it. Yeah, but maybe somebody will ask me what happened. They're not asking. Stop doing it. This is how you have to talk to yourself. See what you're gaining. If it's a thought pattern, it's I like. I like something. And it can be completely, completely illogical. Usually it's completely, completely illogical. Because most of those assumptions were made when we were very young and we didn't have emotional maturity, but we didn't correct it. So it's there. This is why in psychology they go back to a childhood memory. But you don't actually have to go back to the childhood memory. You just have to understand the pattern and the reasoning and decide, no need. Delete, reset, Control, Alt, Delete. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sakhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Sha Purnamidam Purna
Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate.
Om Sha Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah